Good evening, Warband. What is going on? It is the one and only Yeetus, and welcome to episode 110 of Yeetus' Thoughts. And the reason that I'm bringing up this topic today is because it is hilarious how much today's women are coping with the dire situation that's happening today when it comes to inflation and possible World War III. Oh, they really do believe that they are uh, invincible to what's to come. But at the same time, they're subconscious. They're in their minds. They just know that something just ain't right. Something is just not right. Things are as not as comfortable as it used to be. Things aren't as luxurious as leisure as it used to be. Gas prices are skyrocketing. Food prices are skyrocketing. Baby formula is running out like crazy. But for some reason, baby formula is at the borders and overseas, right? Countless illegal immigrants are coming into the country, so there's even less resources to come around, and even more women to compete with. So, with the short I made around an hour ago, I'm pretty sure more and more women are starting to feel the heat. Oh yeah, they're not going to admit it. They're not going to admit that. Oh man, soon, probably this upcoming winter, I probably won't have a place to live. I won't have enough to eat. I can't be strong, and independent, and not need a man anymore. So they turn around and try to do this empowerment, and say, "Well, I just want a sugar daddy, so I can uh, get help to pay this rent. I'm good at conversations. I don't want to go and travel over to the sugar daddy to give some sugar." I'm like, well, what's the fucking point of the sugar daddy even being around? You might trigger one or two old school simps, sure, why not? But more and more men these days are waking up, and you know this. You know this. And once the recession goes on the full on scale, full scale recession, it's every man for themselves. But before I continue, because we got the one and only Gray up in here. Yeah, Gray's here. Everybody calm
Evening,
down.
Warband.
Everybody relax. He's here. And before we start the conversation, if you want to support your boy Sir Yeetus or the Warband, there's plenty of ways you can contribute, okay? You can donate to the links that I put on top of the chat to PayPal.me/Sir or Cash App/Sir, or you can do the super chats, or you can do the super thanks, bro. It's too many things that you can do to help donate, or just like the video, or just hear what I have to say. I don't care. I appreciate all you guys' support. It doesn't matter. As long as you're here listening and participating in this conversation, that's all that matters. Okay, so Gray, based on what I said so far, what is your uh, view on women are starting to feel the heat of this? Oh, I can't stay strong and independent for much longer.
Well, it's a funny thing because, like, they do think they're invincible. Like, at any given point, they're at the very least acting like they could get a sugar daddy anytime they wanted. Like, all they have to do is basically like snap their fingers and, oh hey, I got a man who's willing to like pay me money for me to do basically absolutely nothing. Like, oh, my conversation is so good, I'll just talk to them. It's like, look, just because you got a bunch of simps that want to get in your pants and are willing to listen to you for an extended period of time does not mean you're a charming conversationalist. It means that you got a bunch of thirsty guys around you. That's it. And those
Yeah.
thirsty guys are either broke, like otherwise, if she's not already using them as substitute sugar daddies,
Yeah.
or alternatively, like they're either wealthy and she's already basically sugaring herself out for conversation, but she thinks she can get a wealthier man. For fuck's sake, like there aren't enough wealthy men to go around, but like they all think that they're the main fucking character and that no other woman is quite as special or as interesting as they are. So clearly their company is superior to the company of any other woman.
Which is so hilarious. They love to proclaim how men are shallow, men are superficial. Of course, that is just straight up projection. Because I'm like, how can you not comprehend the supply and demand of the current climate right now? How many men that are making at least six figures in the United States? Around six, seven. No. 6-7% of the population, I think it was, that makes over 100K.
Well, let's be
Man, woman,
honest.
doesn't matter what it is. What's up?
Let's be honest. These days, six figures doesn't get you quite as far as it did a couple years ago.
Exactly, right? Just which is why their standards are getting more delusional. But around 6 or 7%, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, of the population makes over 100K. And that's all people, not just men. So now, well, let's make it just men. That's even a smaller percent. Okay, and
let's
say
3%.
Okay, let's say 3%. Yeah, okay, 3%. 3% of men are making 100K in the United States a year, and let's say on top of that, right? He has to be somewhat decently attractive, or at least 6 feet, at least.
And he also has to not be in an existing committed relationship, like i.e., married. Like we're not just talking about the men who make six figures. We're talking about the available men who make six figures.
Do you really think that's going to stop these women going after married men?
Oh, absolutely! It won't stop them from trying. But
Right.
but that's a pretty fast way to the. But it's a pretty fast way to the divorce court for the men, and a married man is going to hesitate far more than an unmarried man.
Exactly. So when she's like, "Oh, I want a man that makes this type of money, 6 foot, somewhat attractive," knowing that the upcoming recession may hit very soon, possibly this year, they can't stop and think like, "Huh, if I'm going after the small percentage of men, I mean a very small percentage of men in the United States, I'm pretty sure majority of single women are going after these men as well."
Well, and that's the thing. Like, they don't even see like men beyond that. Like, keep in mind, they see like men as two categories, both men and subhumans that aren't worthy of notice or respect. So they either think that there's a complete abundance of these men because I see them all the time on the media. It's like, yeah, you see the same handful of men in the media and you project that onto all men. That's why it's like, oh, all men are wealthy oppressors. It's like, no, most men, including the average man, is treated far worse than you are. You just don't acknowledge them. And or B, they just don't acknowledge the presence of other women because again they're very self-centered, and other women usually don't affect their lives,
or they acknowledge the presence of women they deem is on their level or better than them, because they definitely compete.
I think it's the other way around. I think they acknowledge women who are inferior for the sake of their ego, because they need to be the most beautiful, the prettiest, the top everything. If they acknowledged a woman who is better than them, then
it could be both. Could be both.
True.
Because I definitely see the woman that she deems as a threat and tries to end her reputation wise with all the gossiping and bullying her with her verbal words, saying, oh, you ain't shit. You think you hot shit. You ain't cute to me. Blah, 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 blah. Probably cut her hair and do some crazy shit, just to destroy
Yeah,
her
that's the
reputation
thing.
wise.
But they think they can do that. They think if
Yeah.
like no woman is a threat to me, and if they are a threat, then I can destroy them. And they all think that.
By any means necessary, right? Not physically, but pretty much through reputation destroying.
Yeah, and like
Not
let's
too
be
many
honest.
women are physical, so that's what I'm saying.
Well, and even the ones that don't have shit in their reputation, those women will pretend to be their friends and give them terrible advice so that they make the kind of mistakes that lower their value.
Exactly. So when we put two together, when it comes to all these women, literally there's a lot of single women out there, or a lot of women that proclaim that they're single, right? Because like we always say, she's not yours; it's just your turn. It is what it is.
Yeah, single does not mean celibate.
Exactly. What can I offer this man that has the abundance of women in his palm of his hands? What can I do for him to choose me? But of course, they don't think that far.
No, they don't think that in the slightest. They think either A, which man do I want, or B, what woman do I need to get rid of to get the man that I want. They do not think for a second about what they can offer a man.
No, they think about it. They just think about that all they need is what's between their legs, and that's it. And that's where they get confused on why men ghost her.
That's the thing. And they've got this overinflated sense of value. Like they have an idea of what they're worth, and so far as they're concerned, that is what they're worth. And if someone doesn't agree, then that person is wrong. It's like if you make a quote for like some artwork and someone says like, no, your art isn't worth that much to me, guess what? As the client with the money, they are right. Now, you don't have to take that client, but of course, how many clients you can say no to depends on how in demand are you.
Exactly. And right now,
actually, yeah.
Oh, wait, what'd you say?
Well, yeah, no, to take the art metaphor a step further, it's like nowadays it's like so many of these women are basically giving it all away for free. They think that, oh, well, because so many will accept me for free, and so then I can absolutely get someone to pay a fucking fortune because I'm clearly in demand. It's like, no. Just because you're giving it away for free.
To say that.
You give it away for free doesn't mean people want to pay for it. People will take fucking free samples at Costco. Doesn't mean that they're going to pay full price for the product.
I agree. 1,000,000%. The rich Chads and Tyrones, successful Chad and Tyrones, they are in the highest demand right now. And Puniti is at an all-time low. I mean, so low it's not even funny, and it's going to crash just like the economy might this year. Okay, it in the sense of you don't in 2022 right now, you don't even have to be a rich Chad or Tyrone. You just gotta be rich, because slowly, I'm noticing slowly but surely they're lowering their standards. Not too much, just a little bit, Because as you've seen in that one short I made recently, they're like, oh shit, I can't keep up my bills. Oh my god, I need to find somebody to latch on. So when things start to get really rough, like in Venezuela, Chad, do you know the situation that happened with the Venezuelan economic crash, the economic crisis? Let me know if you know about that, Chad. Gray, what do you know about the Venezuelan crisis?
I believe that they had their economy primarily based around a single commodity, and when the price of that particular commodity tanked, the entire value of the country's currency went through the floor, and all the women stopped being feminist and started working the street corners.
All the women instantly stop being feminists, and that's why people like RPM and Under Chronic, Hammerhand, everybody else, they said it for years now, years. Once the lights go out, so will feminism. But the good thing about today's technology is we have evidence that they put out on social media on why a lot of men will not be helping them in the way that they want to be helped when the recession hits.
Actually, I got a funny anecdote about Venezuela. So just to give you an idea of how bad the economy got. Basically, what would happen was gold farming became profitable. Like they'd find some American with, not a lot of time to work on their like MMO accounts, but a ton of money relative to what the average Venezuelan had. And they'd have the Americans pay them to basically grind in MMOs because the Venezuelans had an abundance of time and they didn't really have a whole lot of valuable work for it. So they actually turned more money by basically doing contract work for like video gamers who didn't have as much free time as necessary to play MMOs. And they made, like, you could make a living playing video games that way in Venezuela for a while.
Right, and I'm all down for that. If you're able to make some decent money, even if it's video games, it is what life ain't fair. Okay, some people, they're gonna have to work to the bone, almost to death, for scraps, and other people, they can make millions just doing YouTube, pretty much, or Twitch. But feminism instantly stopped in Venezuela, instantly, when the market crashed. Things got so bad over there in Venezuela. They were eating rotten food, rotten meat out of the trash. And countless Venezuelan women escaped Venezuela to go to northern countries. The farthest is Mexico. Okay. Did they say, "Oh, I'm strong, independent. I don't need a man. I want a job. Give me a job"? No. Majority of Venezuelan women were on the corner immediately, busting it wide open for at least food.
That's the thing. Like, Punito is going to be worth the price of a sandwich in the future.
Yes, and men that plan smart with their finances, and we say it all the time in the manosphere, be very conscious about your financial situation, okay? Because that could save you in the long run when the recession hits. Do you really think that majority of women out there are in the surplus in their bank? Like, do you know how much debt they have?
And that's the other thing, is like a bunch of them probably would be able to make their rent, but they don't live frugally in the slightest. They're constantly living in the red. As soon as they like start making more money, they start spending more money. They don't save. They're always living paycheck to paycheck.
Spending money on the stupidest things that I can think of. Like it's no joke. No joke. Like, it's like a kid in a candy store. Once they get their paycheck, what's up?
No, it's actually funny because when like Beerbug closed down a bunch of the restaurants and social events, one of the guys I work with, like his wife and him were going over the books, and they found, holy shit, we have a crap ton more money. And the guy said, like, I have not changed my spending habits one iota since COVID started. So what's that tell you about where all our money goes?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. This is one of various reasons why men do not need, like I said, need women for survival. Okay. The only survival thing that we need, no, not survival. The only thing that we need from women is reproduction. That's the only thing that we need. Everything else is a want. Okay, and that can't be disputed.
Like a woman for a man is a luxury good.
Exactly. But a woman that needs a man is a necessity. Unless you're from the Glamazon, you're a Helga Victoria and you've been able to live off the land for the longest time. All right, cool, fine. Well, whatever. That's the exception. 99% of the rest of you women, you need a man for survival. And don't tell me otherwise, because once again,
and that's
look
the thing.
Look around you. It's all because of men. Look around you.
That's the thing. They need a man for survival in the macro sense of society. But many of them, if they just be a lot smarter with their spending habits, many of them are making more than enough to live just fine on their own, but they don't spend properly. Like it's like, imagine having fucking superpowers and wasting them on the most trivial of bullshit and then wondering why no one takes you seriously.
Oh my god, literally. It's like Superman taking a bus to work or something like that. Like or
no. It's like Superman paying for a private jet and taking on multiple jobs simultaneously to make ends meet so that he can fly in his private jet when he can literally just fly on his own.
Like, what are you guys looking at me for?
It's like Clark Kent driving a fucking Maserati. It's like, motherfucker, you can run faster than this.
It is just the insanity of today's society that they really do believe, or they don't want to believe, or they are oblivious, gullible, because they expect men at the end of the day to go save the day. They are the most pampered group of people in society, and in my opinion, in history, Western women. Once shit gets crazy, like the recession, all right, I believe it's going to be even worse than the Great Depression, because at least in the Great Depression, there were a lot more people that were able to be self-sustainable. There are millions upon millions of women out there that don't even know how to grow tomatoes and shit. How they don't even know how to hunt. They don't know what to do. They don't even know where the North Star is.
They don't know how to make clean water, Yeet.
Once again, I'm bringing up Kevin Samuels. That situation with that.
Like, how are you going to desalinate the water? I'll boil it.
I'm gonna just go drink water from the sea. I'm like, you stupid. Oh shit. Oh, like it is not gonna end well whatsoever. I'm like, how?
Well, no, and here's the other thing. The other thing on top of that is when it gets to that situation, like, let's assume that there was some that could actually do it all themselves and live independently. All right.
Which is cool. Okay.
They're also physically weaker, so any man half-assing it is going to be able to take it from them.
Bingo. Like, give me your salt water. No, you can't do that. Karate chop to the neck. That bam. They just jack off our water. Just take it and run. And hell, let's not even go a step further of what they can possibly do if she can't even defend herself against a man, let alone multiple men. Because
like, that's the thing. Like,
they will travel in groups.
They won't be. That's the thing. They won't be fucking entrepreneurs. Let's put it that way. Like, they won't be fucking like going for themselves and pocketing 100% of the street corner profits.
Right.
They're going to need to pay for protection. They're going to need to pay for territory.
Because here's a big thing. A lot, let's say shit does get bad and things actually do collapse. A lot of the women, they're not going to leave the city. They're going to be too afraid to leave the city because they don't even have a man with them in the first place. So they're going to be all holed up in their apartments or whatever they have in the apartment buildings. And as history repeated itself with the what was it, the great what was that? Chinese Revolution. It was pretty much like a mass.
The Great Leap Forward.
Yeah, the Great Leap Forward. The criminals ruled and dominated in the city. There was no rules.
Yeah,
for the most part, it was hell on earth for people stuck within the city, especially for a woman that's within the city. Because what can't you do?
That's the thing. Like, they're straight up screwed. Like there's really no beating around the bush there. Anything that they have of value is going to be taken from them.
Exactly, and they're gonna be like, oh man, I wish I got married. I wish I had a man. I wish I had this and that. See, I always say it almost every day, gentlemen. They never learn until it's too late. All right. Right now, I would say majority of men, okay, even some of the male liberals, okay, I'll say that, some of the male liberals, we all can foresee what is happening. We are all paying attention to the world events, not just Ukraine. Oh, Ukraine, oh, Ukraine. Okay, we're not fucking mindless zombies like the rest of the liberals. We are paying attention to everything that's happening, especially when it comes to the agriculture, the economy, and the foreign relations that are being strained right now and being switched around like hell. I noticed that even with the liberal news network, nobody's even talking about China sneaking up on Taiwan right now. A majority of men are keeping tabs on all these. I know a lot of male associates and friends, not really family members, but friends and associates. They're getting ready immediately. They are stocking up. They are planning financially for the next couple of years. They are planning ahead. I have not heard one woman that know are actually preparing for the worst. They really believe that if things do go south, there will be the males in the family, male friends, or any simp that they can find. They will come in and swoop in and save the day. Depending on the severity of this recession, it's going to be every man or every group for themselves. It's going to be very similar, in my opinion, to the Great Leap Forward. If shit gets that bad.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of bodies.
Because on top of the political turmoil that's happening as well, at the same time, it is not gonna end well.
No.
Because
tons of people are going to like starve or die in conflicts involved with starvation.
Exactly, and the people that are able, like mainly in the South, let's keep it real, they will have to have 24/7 security to even have a chance to defend their crops and stuff that they have, because there's going to be thousands upon 10,000s upon people crossing their path, right? More than likely, they're going to have to move to a more secluded area to grow their little farm to feed themselves and their loved ones, because that's all they can do. People, like what we said before, when things get crazy, like what's happening in Ukraine, men and women, we revert back into our natural roles. It's just based on instinct. Okay, it's going to happen, and when that happens, people, if you guys learn about what truly happened in the Great Leap Forward, we are savage. Humans can be beyond violent, capable of doing things that you won't be able to even imagine.
And that was the thing with the Great Leap Forward. The people in rural areas, lower population ones, they by and large made it through okay. Most of the casualties were in the cities.
Yeah. Literally 90-something% was within the city. I agree.
So
I'm gonna read these right quick. Give me a second. Kaya Runte, I can't even say it. No, you revert to your natural role because if you don't, you die. Well, that's pretty much what I meant. That's pretty much what I meant. And as civilization, as people want to, give it props, civilization is a social construct. It's a social where a gigantic group of people in mass can sustain itself. No, when things get rough, people will turn on each other. Each other. The only people that they can truly trust among themselves are family members or people that you've known for a long time. Everybody else can be a potential enemy. But even then, if things get even more dire, even friends and family can turn on each other. That's how savage humans can get, and that's what society, and more specifically, Western women can't comprehend. When things get bad, we get bad. What do you have to say about that, Gray?
well, specifically on civilization being temporary, well, I would say no. Like an individual civilization might be temporary the same way that a workplace is temporary. A group of people working together with a common goal, that is temporary. But the concept of people working together towards a common goal, that's universal. It's just going to change forms and leaders and which people are working together.
That's what I
But
meant to say. My fault. Yeah, it does. It does exist. It's just civilization, as you know it, is over. It's just gonna be a civilization different than your older one. It happens all the time throughout history. Change is inevitable on some Thanos shit.
so yeah, we're likely going to lose the civilization that we currently have. Leadership is going to change, power dynamics are going to change, everyone's world's going to become a lot more smaller as like, all the supply lines that link the large civilization together break down. So a fair bit to be concerned about, to be honest, but that's why it's a good idea to get ahead of the curve right now, understand that's what's coming down the pipeline, and adjust your current choices accordingly. Like,
Yep.
honestly, we're even seeing right now, like crypto is fucking tanking like crazy because now people are like, okay, well, I've got all these ones and zeros, but I need to spend money now. I need to actually cash out, and they're finding that, when crypto isn't seen as something that is going to gain in value, you start to realize how little crypto can actually buy you.
Yeah, crypto is not as bad as NFTs, but crypto is being way too relied upon, in my opinion. So,
Well, and that's the thing. Like, I'd honestly be willing to say that you could probably nowadays use precious metals like silver in place of cash. I'm willing to bet that if you went to someone and wanted to pay for something where normally it would be a cash job, but you said, "Hey, can I pay you in silver? This is what silver is worth right now. So can I pay the majority of it in silver and then make up the difference in cash?" I'm willing to bet you'd find more than a few people willing to say yes to that.
that is true, but I gotta read this right quick. Island Hermit, $5 donation for the Warband. Keep it up, Yeetus. Thank you very much. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Pause. I almost had a burnout when it comes to creating content, but as you see, the surge of content is coming back, especially with the shorts. I'm actually having a lot of fun right now because once again, this is one of the only places that we're able to talk about these things. Everybody else on the outside, in public, they want to talk about Kim Kardashian and her love triangle, or I don't know how to explain it. The shootings between gang, like it just things aren't that relevant. then what's going to happen to us on a societal level? That's why you're going to be seeing a lot more content. That's why the grind cannot stop for the Warband. Also, Mr. Pliskin, thank you very much for your generous donation. You always donate, bro. I definitely appreciate it. Anybody else that wants to support the Warband, support the channel, plenty of ways you can support and donate. The two links on top of the chat, PayPal and Cash App. There's the super chat. There's the super thanks. I still haven't seen the super thanks yet, but I heard it works. Anything that you guys can do, give a like, just listen to our conversation, okay? In the end, I definitely appreciate you guys' support. And yeah, right now, my subscribers are booming right now. Holy shit. It's probably because of the shorts.
You're blasting that algorithm.
I'm here to no, there's actually this one guy I had an immediate hater that said, "Oh my god, we got another under chronic and Ribby wannabe incel." I'm like, what?
Should not be news, buddy.
Right. Well, like, what the? Did you see my intro, Sir Yeetus of the Warband? Like, what the fuck? Like, you stupid. Gerald Armstrong, people are too dumb to know silver's value. Yes, let's get back to the conversation. When it comes to silver, unfortunately, I have not invested in silver yet, but I do know people that has invested in silver, gold, and I think nickel. They've invested heavily for the last 4 or 5 years. I know back when I was in back on the west side of the states, I had a soldier that was already invested a good amount of money into silver. So I guarantee you, it's probably worth a lot right now.
Yeah, and I'm not saying you'll be able to use it interchangeably, but I'm willing to bet you'll be able to get more practical day-to-day items with silver than you will with crypto. Like, let's say you want food. Do you think a farmer is more likely to take Bitcoin or Ethereum, or are they more likely to take some silver bars?
Definitely take silver bars. Immediately. Like, that's why, all the countries, all the world, they stock heavily on minerals and metals and stuff, because if shit goes crazy, that's literally all we have left.
Well, and the other thing is that silver, like, you will get your silver usually backed by a particular banking institution that's very familiar. You're not just getting something that's like, yeah, it says it's 99.9% pure, so it's good. It's like, no, there's an actual bank that you could go to and change it out for. So, like, people might not understand the value of silver inherently, and they might not believe it, but they'll believe the bank that is backing it.
Agreed. I definitely agree. Also, I do plan on going on a good amount of hunting trips this fall. I suggest you guys try to do it too. I highly suggest you. I highly advise you guys go out and hunt something, just in case. It'll be a great learning experience for whatever may possibly happen. And plus, if you have a big enough freezer, and if you're able to get a deer or elk or whatever you're able to catch, that's a good amount of meat for a month or two. So
even just going on a camping trip, like, say you can't get a hunting license, but even just going on a camping trip and getting used to being outside, learning the terrain, that'll go a long way.
Exactly. And tell me right now, chat, do you really believe that the amount of women out there are having these type of conversations for the potential craziness that's going to happen in the future? Doubt it. I doubt it. Maybe one, maybe two. Probably grew up in a conservative family. But majority of women out here are not talking about the things that we are talking about right now. And when shit gets crazy, Once again, inflation skyrockets. Food is off the shelves. People are getting rowdy. Hell, I heard there was a mass shooting in Buffalo yesterday or the day before.
That's just the most recent large one that was done by an approved, like, someone who fits the local narrative. There's been a ton of shootings of similar size recently, but they've been
Yeah.
brushed under the table.
So I already know they're gonna be doing some weird stuff with the gun laws again. All I'm saying is I only see men talking about these things. The women are not. Yet at the same time, they claim that they are not going to be needing a man and stuff. Yeah, keep on with that cope. Keep going, because I guarantee you, if you have no value per se, if the recession hits and things get crazy, uh, that's on you. You chose not to get married. You chose to be that bad bitch that doesn't need a man until she's in her 40s. Now, look, shit's out of control. Your family's nowhere to be found, and you're on your own, surrounded by criminals in a city that's running amok. Accountability. What's up?
That's beyond the thing. Like, they're not going to publicly admit it until they have no choice but to accept it. Like, they're going to lie even while they're actively doing it. They're going to lie.
Oh
like they
no!
could be selling, like they could be selling themselves on the street corner, but as so long as they're talking to someone who doesn't know, they will lie out their ass.
Oh, they'll keep going until it's too late, until they literally have no other options, like none.
No, that's the thing. Like, even when they have no other options, they'll lie about, I'm making ends meet. I've got my own business. I'm getting on just fine. I'm not like these other girls who are out on the street corner. And then that very night, that's exactly what they're doing. They'll lie for the sake of public image. So you'll have a bunch of like ladies by day and cheap access by night.
That's true, but I meant immediate danger. That was my bad. I meant the shit hits the fan.
I think even when shit hits the fan, they'll lie. Like, they'll all pretend that they're that one woman that doesn't need to sell themselves when shit hits the fan.
See, when shit hits the fan, I do believe that men are not going to listen anymore. Of course, they're going to be always going to be simps, but majority of men, they're not going to listen to the words anymore. It's game over for them. Like, the words won't work.
Not to the same extent, especially since in those desperate times, the rate of men getting burned and used is going to go up as well.
Yep, that's why I said that the fact that they didn't bother to marry, to get a husband, and able to have a family to potentially protect her when shit hits a fan, and she's strong, empowered, independent, and don't need a man in the middle of a freaking chaotic war zone, when she's walking around by herself. Now, even the simp with common sense would be like, okay, there's a woman, she's by herself. I am not going to help. I'm not going to help her, because that's usually a bad sign of it's an ambush. It's a trap. I'm not going to help her. I wouldn't help her. Fuck that. Like, I watched the movies. I watched the Book of Eli. I watched the other movie. I forgot what it's called. But things are chaotic. There's no rules. Everything's broken down. Why would a woman be wandering by herself out there alone, still alive, still doing her thing? It's a trap.
Yeah, but there's going to be a bunch of guys with their fucking captain save a hoe mentality, and they will be removed from the gene pool
immediately. And don't get me wrong, she may be waltzing around by herself, right? But how would I know? And that will
The timing
that
would be too coincidental. Like, that's the thing, like, you
that
might,
won't-
like, you
What's
ain't the
up?
protagonist of a fucking JRPG where you just happen to stumble across the fucking princess at her moment of danger. Real life does not work that way, people.
I remember the movie Mad Max. Mad Max. I think that's what the movie is called.
No, I'm just talking like any like JRPG, like if you've played most JRPGs, there's usually a moment where the village hero like runs into the princess who's in a fucked up situation, like right when she's about to get caught and like executed or kidnapped or screwed over or whatever. That's the thing. Like it's like even as Carry On says, like it's always it's a trope.
Her, not her. The hypergamy never ends.
Yeah,
Even if
that's
she
the
hits a
thing.
fan scenario. So,
Like she's going to like women are going to get themselves into shitty situations, and men are going to get themselves into shitty situations trying to deal with these women. And when two men fight over a woman, like the men are going to die, the woman is not. So men are going to learn that associating with women is bad for your health immediately, because there's not going to be this like, oh well, they had like 5, 7, 10 years of happy marriage and on the surface good relationships. No, it's going to be pretty immediate punishment, and that's going to deliver far more effective lessons.
and remember, gentlemen, we are only talking about the worst case scenario right now. We were talking about the recession, but right now this is the worst possible scenario. Because once again, this is kind of happening in Sri Lanka. I think it's called, because their economy collapsed.
Oh, but that's the thing. Like, we might see like it happening all at once. Like the worst case scenario, I don't think it's necessarily going to arrive on a single day.
No,
I think it's going to be as it has been right now, just
right.
gradually getting worse and worse and worse. And that's going to make it so much easier for people to be in denial about the situation. It's like the frog in boiling water. They're just going to make the situation worse and worse and worse slowly enough that the average person is going to think like, this could turn around. Like it wasn't absolutely terrible. It's not much worse than it was last week. It's like, yeah, but it's fucking atrocious compared to where it was 2 years ago. But so many people, they don't think beyond what is immediately happening.
Oh,
Like
what 5 years ago is nothing compared to what's happening right now. Very bad. Definitely a slow decay, slow erosion, like what Channel said. It is, you will barely notice it. And then when you do notice it, you're like, holy hell, how did this happen? What the hell?
And they know to do that because so long as they can keep it decaying at a slow pace, most people won't react. And then when you try to tell them, like, hey, this shit's fucked up, this needs to be dealt with right away, they'll be like, oh, no, it's not that bad. You're overreacting. There's other things to worry about. And
like, are you serious?
That's the thing. A lot of them are in denial. Like, and it's not just women. There's tons of men, too.
Yeah,
absolute denial about how bad it is right now and where it's heading, because they think that it's just a downward bit that's going to bounce back. Be curious, is like, okay, how bad does it need to get before you'll admit that shit is bad? And the only thing that they'll admit is what would be too late to do anything about it.
And they're the ones that, like you said, the men that also deny this are also not preparing. They are usually the young Gen Z crowd.
The older ones, I'd say, are far more likely to want to maintain the status quo.
Well, I meant the male feminists, not all Gen Z. Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that they also believe that their life is all good and dandy, and they believe that their daddy government will have everything under control. which
I don't
is
know.
clearly not happening.
I think Gen Z and the Zoomers are kind of 50-50 on that.
No, that's
Like,
what I said. Male feminists.
Yeah.
And not the actual like men that were raised right by both parents that actually have common sense. No, I'm talking about the ones that unfortunately they believe that giving hormones to people younger than 18 is a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm good. Like I am definitely I plan far ahead for a just in case situation. And yes, hillbilly, if you don't own a gun, you're hoarding for someone who does. Bingo. Let's bring it back up. Bingo. If you don't have a firearm, what are you doing with your life right now? What are you doing with your life? You need to get some type of concealed carry or something now, because what if you're in that situation with the Buffalo how do I say mass shooting? You
Well,
don't call that.
Well, to be fair, like that happened in a place with extremely tight gun restrictions, because that's the best place to
I see what you're
perpetuate it.
saying. I see what you're saying. But regardless, with the dire situation that's happening around, you definitely need to be able to try your best to get some type of firearm soon. Try your best to get something. Because once again, in this current climate in 2022, you do not want to be called lacking. All right. What's the saying? I'd rather be judged by 12 than to be carried by 6.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm able to even have a funeral, if shit hits the fan, I'll probably get yeeted into a mass grave. Who knows?
You'll be lucky if they don't eat you in that situation.
Please, I'm dark meat. You don't like dark meat.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but a lot of people are going to learn the taste of sweet pork pretty fucking fast.
Man, I'm telling you, man.
Like, let's be honest. That is the most abundant supply of food in cities is other people.
And that has happened at the Great Leap Forward. That has happened. I personally wouldn't do it, but that has happened.
You get hungry enough, you'll do it.
Yeah. Nah.
You get into some Donner Party level shit, you'll do it.
I don't know, man. That's like because you can. I have the knowledge that you can also get sick from it as well.
You just got to eat the right parts. Don't eat any nervous tissue.
Oh yeah, fuck all that. I'll go graze the field. I'll eat the grass. But we'll see. And yes, I am only bones. And like what Carrion said, you can make bone soup. So he does have a point. You gotta get that bone marrow up in there. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said Phil Ravage. Eating other humans will actually make you sick, and eventually you may die. Even the tribes with the cannibalistic tribes that eat people, they eventually get sick.
Yeah, but they don't differentiate. They eat the entire human. Again, like
I personally couldn't do it. Yeah, I know you probably could have, but I personally wouldn't be able to.
I'm just trying to get mentally prepared and accepting that it's probably going to be a necessity at some point.
For me, that's why I tell people we need to learn how to hunt or do something right now, because I do understand what you're saying, Gray. When with the late great John Witherspoon, rest in peace. When you're hungry, everything tastes good. Which I'm like, you know what, fair game, but eating another human, cannibalism, that is literally like a last resort. Even then, it'd be morally, I couldn't do it. I don't know.
Well, but here's the thing: like, you might not do it if you know it's a human, but when you come across someone selling mysterious jerky,
see, unknowingly, I can see where you're coming from. Because that has happened before.
Like, you might be like, you know what? There's like There's probably like rat, probably squirrel. I'm pretty sure that those people, like, yeah, they'll fucking sell human.
Ugh, so gross. But I see what you're saying because there was a murder story about that before. Some serial killer that was. I was watching this video, this YouTube channel with a lady that constantly puts on makeup and talks about scary stories. Yeah, there was a serial killer that tends to take their victims into some type of shack and butcher them apart and put it into a mystery pot of stew meat, whatever it is, and he will serve sandwiches at a restaurant. So I don't know how many people unknowingly ate human meat, but that is a very unfortunate situation. Hey, it probably tastes good to them, but if I knew it was a human, no, I couldn't.
Well, and then, but then there's also the degrees of separation too, because, well, what if, okay, like maybe you don't want to eat a human directly, but, oh, pigs will eat anything.
Well, I'm just saying, like, because even if I'm in starvation and I see some guy like, "Hey, yo, I got these pork sandwiches right here, right now." Like, of course, I would not think twice. Like, if it's oh yeah, it's a sandwich made out of pork. Yeah, come on in. If I'm
Well, no, that's
like
the thing. They're gonna
close to
say
death,
fucking mystery meat, because if they say pork, you're gonna, like, you might ask the question, wait, where the fuck did they get a pig these days? There's no pigs in the city.
depends on the
But
person then.
that's the thing. But they say, like, look, I got some mystery meat, man. It's protein. Just don't ask questions about where it came from.
Alan Herman, yes, you will get sick if you eat humans. That is a proven fact.
Certain
But
tissues,
I see
again,
where
certain
Grace.
tissues, it's not every part of the human that makes you sick.
I would not know, but I do see where Gray is coming from because it did happen in the Great Leap Forward, where it was mass cannibalism in the various Chinese cities, like mass, like they were actually eating each other. The people that were living in the rural areas where a lot of country they've been farming rice and stuff, they were just fine. They were fine.
Well, and the other thing, in more rural areas, something like cannibalism will be more heavily frowned upon, because out there you're more likely to be related, like not like regularly related, but like have some sort of connection, like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, from whoever you're eating. And the society and the people around you, if they find out about it, they're far more likely to ostracize you, which in that situation will mean death. In the cities, everyone's so bloody anonymous that, yeah, you could probably eat your entire apartment complex and most people wouldn't know.
See, but there's also a difference as well, because if it was out of survival, people would not be as upset because there were cases of cannibalism on Mount Everest and being stranded on in sea or on the island, wherever it is. But I know there were cases on being stuck in Mount Everest and they resorted to cannibalism. That most, but if you're going around and say like, yeah, I'm gonna have you for dinner, and you just eat humans just because, that's where it's like, okay, you're a sick fuck. You gotta die.
Yeah, like
'Cause
that's
you're
in a rural sense. In a rural sense, people would know. But in shit hits the fan, if someone just stops coming into their apartment, no one's gonna fucking know.
I see what
You
you're
could
saying.
absolutely you could eat your neighbor and then be like, "Hey, what happened? What happened to Bill?" Like, you stopped showing up one day.
I am cool with any other meat. Okay, I'm cool. OG it 1917. I'm cool with any other meat, any other plants or grains or fruits that I can find. Another human, that is definitely, I well, 98% chance I won't do it. Especially if, unlike a lot of people out here in society, I have the tools to go out there and get my own food if I'm able to locate the right area.
But you should just realize, what would actually probably be one of the biggest sources of meat early on. Zoos.
Oh, the zoos will be raided immediately.
Yeah, like
Oh yeah.
zoos, kennels, the pound. Like cat dog's gonna be back on the menu.
Yeah, it is, and it's completely understandable. It is completely understandable. Not the pets I know, but any other pet, sure. I wouldn't eat my own pet. That's not gonna happen. It's all about the relations you have with somebody. It's really difficult to even do it in the first place.
You might not eat your pet. Someone else will.
Well, shit. That's why I got my firearms ready to go. You will not eat my pet.
Like that's the thing. There will be no more fucking like letting your dog off the leash to like run around. Like if like you think fucking coyotes are bad for snatching up like fucking little dogs. But you're gonna have fucking dog snatchers.
Yeah, licking their lips.
Like you're gonna have some motherfucker hiding in the bushes. You come along with Fur, and like he's just gonna like fucking punch you out, take the fucking dog, book it, and that dog is gonna be fucking stew. Even leaving your dog alone, like I think all those little fucking dogs that bark at everyone who passes by, they're gonna be the first to go. Someone sees a house unoccupied, like someone's out scavenging, they leave their little dog at home. That window's going to be broken, and that dog's going to be dinner.
Hey, what's going on, Primal Studies? But celibate, you know you can fast for several weeks. See, you could, but there's various factors that comes to that. Especially if you're able to. Oh, what's up?
Fast. All right, like if you don't have to do anything.
Exactly.
You can't fucking, scavenge and survive for weeks on end without eating. Like you're going to be so weak by the end of it, you won't be able to feed yourself.
Do you know how much energy you have to do to get food in the first place? Do you know why our ancestors were so much stronger? So much testosterone and all that crazy stuff. They had no choice but to move around, but to hunt their own foods and stuff. Fasting, yeah, they could, but not for several weeks.
No, like
a few days tops.
No, like you basically have to be capable of living like one of those Zen monks, where you are just sitting around all day meditating. That, okay, you could technically go for a couple weeks.
And here's another thing. How much fat you have on you?
That too.
That's another factor. Because eventually you're going to have very little fat to even use as energy. And then it will eventually start eating away at your at your muscles.
Well, and that's the thing. If you're not moving around very much, your muscles are going to start atrophying, and it'll probably start eating those even before you're fat.
Exactly. Fasting, sure, but I wouldn't say several weeks. No.
Like maybe you can technically do it without dying, but that just means that it takes you a long time to die. It doesn't mean that you can go for 3 weeks and then have a meal and then go for another 3 weeks.
Let me read this. No, I have fasted for weeks before. It makes you stronger at the end because you detox, it frees up energy. See, here's what you're not understanding, right? Right now in current society, you don't have to expend as much energy as our ancestors years ago that had to actually go out there and hunt food to survive. And on top of that, the food comes to you in today's society. The water is in your tap. Yeah, you have tap water access ready to go in today's society. When shit,
I guess the thing, like, could you go for when you were fasting, were you going for a 5K run and spending 2 hours of weightlifting at the gym? I'm willing to bet you weren't.
Celibate. What other famous religious figure fasted for 40 days? See, we're going to repeat ourselves again. That person didn't move a muscle. You were just chilling there. I guarantee you he wasn't moving around much at all. Guaranteed.
Like, and this isn't like, oh, one person in an otherwise functional society fasting. You're asking the entirety of a functional society, much of which will require a shit ton of physical labor to constantly fast. No, they're not going to do it. They will not survive. They'll die.
And on top of that, you can't afford to fast for, and once again, you got to have a good amount of fat to even fast for weeks in the first place. And let's say you're able to fast for weeks, then all of a sudden, oh, snap, I'm getting ambushed. And you're too weak to fight back. What then? You got to put those in perspective. Can't afford to be weak. Do you agree, Gray?
Yeah, like this is where we live in a society where you can fucking break your leg, and you will still likely be fine. In this fucking scenario, you break your leg, that's a death sentence.
Yep. No access to medical facilities, medicine, no access to clean water, peroxide, rubbing alcohol, nothing to try to disinfect the wound. All right. And depending on breaking the leg and how severe it is, if the bone sticks out, how do you know gangrene doesn't come in? Or, like I said before, an enemy appears. Give me all your shit.
Well, and keep in mind, on the other hand, like, you fast in the modern day, we have, cars and running utilities. Like, if you're going to try to prep for a shit hits the fan scenario, you got to fast when you have to get all your water by hand, you have no electricity, and you can't use your vehicle.
Yep. Why do you think all the old school civilizations all live by rivers?
And even then, with all the shit that gets dumped in rivers nowadays,
yeah, that makes it worse.
And our relatively weak immune systems, because we're not used to drinking poo water on a regular basis. Yeah, it's not going to end well.
And so, in conclusion, yeah, sure, you're able to fast, but not for weeks. No, that's not possible if shit hits the fan.
And again, and then, okay, and fasting. I think I'd want to be determined what fasting is, because is that very minimal food, or is that no food whatsoever, just water?
She was pretty much just saying just water. Just water, or not even water, and that would just be called dry fasting. Celibate, I understand you've done it. Congratulations, but guess what? It's all the modern things that you have access to. That's what you got to understand. When shit hits the fan, you have none of those things. None of those things to help you out. You won't be fasting for weeks because you'll eventually die, or you'll be taken over by somebody else.
Well, and then there's the other thing, the psychological aspect. Because if you fast in the modern day, you can stop at any time. Psychologically, if you don't know whether or not you're going to get food tomorrow, like, that's a whole other ball game.
Yeah, you fasted by choice. When shit hits the fan, there'll be a lot of people that will have no choice but to fast. There's a huge difference. Okay. Whew, all right. I don't know why we had to have that long conversation. Okay. Do you have anything else to point out about the recession situation? Is there anything that we left out?
I think that there's still a misconception about what exactly it's going to entail. I think people are expecting some sort of dramatic turning point when one day shit is fine, and then there's one of those dramatized moments in history when all of a sudden everything's fucked up at once. And I think it's going to be far more subtle and gradual the way it has been. Like, we're not going to have where, oh, every truck stops going to every town and every city at once on the same day. You're going to see price increases, and then you're going to see supply shortages. There's going to be less and less and less food, and it's going to take longer and longer and longer to get there. So it's not going to be one day there's decently stocked shelves and then the next day there's nothing. It's going to be that everything is just going to get gradually worse until terrible becomes normal.
The only immediate thing that I can think of that would be very bad is stock market crash. That's the only thing that can possibly be immediate. Just bam, everything going down.
Well, we're kind of seeing that at the very least, because that's the thing. Like, the crypto market, I think, is kind of a good pre-warning. So, in a sense, seeing like crypto and NFTs take a severe dive in valuation is a good indicator that people are starting to lose stuff in the stock, like lose out on stocks and investment opportunities.
Right. But besides that situation, I do agree that everything else is just going to be slow motion, just creeping. Like, already we noticed about the baby formula.
Yeah. Well, then let's be kind of honest here. With the stock market crash, what percentage of the population even has investments in the stock market that it would make a difference?
None really, but since we are pretty much a global economy, can't even say the word right now. If things happen majorly to us, then everything else will just completely fall apart. I mean, like, majorly, not forever, but for a while, there'll be a lot of things being beyond messed up, because our lifeline is the economy at the end of the day. At least the United States. I don't know about Canada.
Yeah. I'm just curious about what form it will take, because in much of the history lessons that I've seen about the last major stock market crash, like the dirty 30s, they never really got into the day-to-day details of what happened on a day-to-day basis after the stock market crashed. It was the stock market crashed, and that it was a decade of hardship and poverty. But at the same time, like, I did see a video down the line where, like, businesses were still open, people were still selling stuff. Like, people had to make far tougher decisions on what to purchase. Like, a gumball was considered a luxury item. So it's not as though everything just suddenly completely stopped.
No, what I mean by the value of the dollar will go down dramatically, and the way that people have to purchase goods and they can't afford to live in houses. We had a gigantic homeless issues back in the Great Depression. Like, I understand what you're saying, that it's going to be a slow process, but one day it's just going to just bam, because eventually we're going to have to hit the bottom.
Well, let's be honest. Like, with regards to housing, most people have more housing than they need and can occupy at once. We're going to get a lot of squatters. Like, homeless people could get somewhere to live if the cops didn't like take them out of those places. Like, it's not so much that there aren't enough places to live for the population, it's that the
No.
places that are around are too expensive. But like in fucking shit's the thing, like there's tons of apartment complexes and condos bought up by people who live overseas and barely come over.
Well, how much the state or the government are going to force the squatters to stay away? That will be a difficult task. But
Like
it
you can
depends
put
on what
out
they
a
do.
this thing like it's kind of the difference with I'd say fire would be a good allegory. Like if there's a fire in your like saucepan, you can grab a fire extinguisher and put it out. If literally every inch of your house is on fire at the same time, you don't even bother, you just abandon it.
Okay. I see what you're saying, but I do have a donation from from BB. I ain't gonna say your whole name. Hey, Sir Yeetus, does Gray do commission art? Do you do commission art, Gray?
Yeah, I do.
Also, is stamina build good for the first time playthrough? Just got Elden Ring. I do not know. I haven't played enough of Elden Ring yet. A lot of things got in the way. Gray might know. Do you know?
Yeah, we got. Definitely don't think stamina is bad. It's certainly useful in some of the larger fights. You can get a fair bit with the weapons, but honestly, I haven't played too much either because I've more or less been working with Yeetus on it.
Yeah,
so,
a lot of things got in the way. Like, believe it or not, the Warband, we go outside and touch grass. So
yeah.
But
so no, unfortunately, I can't really say with authority one way or the other on Elden Ring.
Okay, and what were we talking about?
Well, talking about like homelessness and I think that there's going to be an abundance of squatting, and that the cops and law enforcement are going to be spread far too thin in order to stop it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely do. So there probably going to be areas where it's just like, oh, okay, that's where all the homeless people are located, pretty much. Try to gather them into one place. Where is
You're
he?
gonna.
Oh, what's up?
Well, and that's the other thing. It'll be one thing to be like, oh, like the homeless people are gathered here, but then keep in mind if the homeless people have like firearms and they're willing to defend their territory with violence, like it won't just be the homeless. The criminal activities are going to move in and provide the muscle to secure those places. You'll probably get entire districts that become essentially no-go zones. Honestly, you'll probably see things like Chaz popping up, but less like socialist liberal utopia and more so crime-ridden hellhole with a bunch of desperate people.
I see what you're saying. And once again, these areas, depending how big it will get, it will just be similar to the lower class areas where a lot of gangs and stuff starts to form.
That's the thing. I can see there being like kind of a house mafia setting up where you have criminal elements effectively taking over apartment complexes and replacing the existing landlords.
I definitely agree. And hey, what's going on Dead Chronic? They nervous. Oh yeah, they're definitely nervous. And I meant to ask the chat. Chat, everybody in the chat right now, put in a 1 if you ever had a woman that you knew for the last couple years just hit you up out of nowhere to see if they can get money from you. Just oh, I'm struggling with my bills. Can I get money from you? Can I get money? Put one in the chat if you ever had a woman from 2020 to 2022 just hit you up out of nowhere. Say, oh, can I have money, please? Cause I'm struggling. I got kids. I got that. You know, like, you're strong, you're independent. You got all these resources. Figure it out. Where's your child support money? Where's your welfare? Why you have no money when you're getting all this free money? What will you spend it on? Oh, okay. Alcohol and weave. Alcohol and getting your nails done. That explains a lot. What about you, Gray? Have you ever, not just in 2020, anytime in your life you had a woman like, oh yeah, I'm having money problems. Can I get some money?
Yeah. And I was a sucker and I actually went for it too, so.
No.
It was like fucking 15 years ago, dude. The red pill wasn't even a concept that I was aware of back then. But yeah, no, I've been a sucker, so know that you get fucking nothing out of it except fucking regret and bitter memories.
So did you think back and you're like, wait a minute, she got me?
Oh yeah. I know multiple times I'm like, God fucking damn it. I was too goddamn nice. I cut them way too much slack and they fucked me for it.
Oh yeah, it includes female family members as well. Because the only time that I had men ask me for money is if they truly needed money, and you can trust that they can pay it back, because them making sure that they keep their word is a lot more important than a woman keeping her word.
Yeah.
You know, a man keeping his word is way more heavier. That's why I am more keen to, like, okay, here's $20, here's $40. Just make sure you pay me back by, by your paycheck time. And I only had one issue with a guy when I gave him money and he couldn't pay it back. Every other man, just fine. But when it comes to the women, even your own family members, nothing but excuses on why they can't pay you back. And then you're like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about the money no more. Just get away from me. Don't ask me for money again.
Yeah,
you got suckered out of $50 over a year ago. Never again. Damn.
Hey, that's fucking cheap. $50 is learning the lesson pretty cheaply.
We've all been suckers, Gray. No sweat, man. He ain't wrong. He is never wrong.
Maybe not, but I find shame a very useful tool. So I'm still going to be fucking ashamed of being a sucker, because if you don't, then that's just one less reason, one less discouragement for it.
Yep. Oh my God. I'm telling you, gentlemen, I've seen that happen as well. Eileen Herman, a girl did that to me, but she used her dog and said that she didn't have money to feed her dog. She tried to guilt trip me. And she knows how a lot of men feel about animals. A lot of men, we love animals.
Yeah, that's why it's like child support and not ex-wife degenerate lifestyle support.
Exactly. Hold up. Why am I skipping? Okay. No. Brandon Trueblood, the only woman in the world who will get my time or money are my daughters. Agreed. But even then, teach her the importance of money. All right. There's legal ways to get money and not sacrifice your dignity. Kono, I have 3 people I trust, my woman and my 2 close friends, and we always have each other's backs. Any money we send, we give back, and we always have each other no matter the situation. See, if people keep their word and actually get back the money, I have no issues with them if they're unable to pay back something once in a while. But but if you take the money and I never hear from you for like years, or you just giving a bunch of excuses, you're cut off from my resources. Okay, I don't do it anymore, right? I only give any type of income to immediate family or my couple of friends, or if somebody in the Warband is in dire need. Everybody else can go fuck yourself. Like seriously. um, let me keep going. Let me keep going down. Do 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 do. Bronx Tale. I gotta watch that movie again tonight. Pharaoh Ravage. It's like what Sony from a Bronx Tale said. He's out of your life for $20. You got him off cheap. Forget it. Yep, I love that quote so much. I love it because it makes so much sense. Oh, like he's not gonna try to come bother you again. You, he or she showed her true colors. You know. Let me keep going. Steve Sanchez. I'm surprised these modern women are asking for money. You think with paternity leave and Equal Rights Act, they'll have at least some change in the pockets.
Well,
See,
they have the money. They'd have the money if they were sensible with how they spent it. They are not.
Damn, Gray, you scare the fuck out of me. Jesus, you're like objection.
No, but it's like I see it so frequently as like the reason you live fucking paycheck to paycheck is because you throw your fucking money away on appearance and social approval.
See, on that chronic, I need more money for my Kush dog. It's a dog, but made of weed, and I smoke it. Come on, Yeetus. Listen, I will definitely give you money for your Kush dog, because at least you're using the money for good use. Okay, not something stupid. Like the one to buy some antique off of Amazon because it looks cool, or want to go to some psychic mind reader that talks about astrology. Oh, side fact: I see astrology as space racism. Changed my mind. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It makes sense, right?
I think it would be something like more like temporalism, because you're discriminating against someone based on like when they were born, which is something that they literally have no control over whatsoever.
Like everything's all good and dandy. All of a sudden, I can't talk to you anymore. You are Taurus and I'm an Aries. We are not compatible. Like, what the fuck? What do you? What? The stars talk to me. Like, bro, are you off your meds? You good? Like, what do you mean the stars are talking to you? And it happens. Many women today, they literally base their whole personality and judgment on random quotes that they read off the internet.
That's the thing. Fucking like social shit matters far more than any objective reality, because it gives them excuses to do things.
Oh,
they can fuck around and be.
Yeah, y'all are never gonna let that go, huh? It's all good. It's okay. What were you saying, Gray?
Yeah, but I was like to a certain, like I'm willing to give some shit leeway, but like for fuck's sake, and there's like multiple astrological signs too. Like a bunch of them just go with the fucking lunar cycle. Like, oh geez, like the moon was in which constellation when you were born. But they just want to be fucking dicks. They want to have a fucking perfect goddamn life, but they can't help but also sabotage it. Like,
they're too comfortable. They had it too good for too long.
I'm kind of reminded of like this fucking comic I saw a while ago, where it was a parody of like an anime protagonist. Like it was a girl born with pink hair, and it's and it was like, oh no, she has protagonist hair. She's gonna be protagonist. And there's nothing can be done about it. And then her entire life, like there's all sorts of like introductions, like, oh, it's a fucking alien from space. Oh, it's a giant robot. And she basically kept on rejecting every fucking anime story, like story cue that would come to her. And then being like, well, you know, if I'm going to have to do it, then I want to choose it. I can just imagine a follow-up being like, okay, you are now you missed out on your fucking shonen adventure. You don't get giant robots. You don't get mysterious prince. You are now office lady drama, and that is your life. Like that is the only options available to you because you rejected every single other one because they weren't a perfect fit. So now this is the life you get. Deal with it.
Literally, I agree with what you're saying right now, man, because it is insane, and I'm sure I'm telling you, I truly believe that history is repeating itself when it comes to the feminist ideology. I'm sure this was not the very first time in history where once more and more leeway was given to women, the more self-destructive they've gotten, and eventually contributed to a downfall to society. I guarantee you that happened before. I don't have solid proof, but I'm sure it happened. So since history is repeating itself again, especially with social media and stuff, gentlemen, there at least over the summer, because that's when the food shortages and all this crazy stuff will start to, truly come in. Don't you trust them? Don't you give into the sob stories? Well, I can't do this. I can't do that. I don't got enough money. Blah blah blah. You're strong, independent, and don't need a man. Why are you asking me? You're the one that's so empowered and told us to go to war and die. That's all we're good for. Why are you coming to me? You got this. Just a woman power, right? You are able to survive out here in this borderline apocalyptic world-ending society that we're in right now. Go ahead, do your thing. You don't need me. You don't need my resources. What you talking about? You went to college. You're smarter than me. You know more than me. Then I know more than me, right? I'm a man. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an XY chromosome.
You can do anything I can do except better and in heels.
Oh shit. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is when it comes to the upcoming situation that's happening. Okay, there will be more and more women asking for help. Don't fall for that. Oh, I see you doing good for yourself. Want to go on a little date later and talk? No, don't fall for that. Okay, because I said this plenty of times this week. She's not looking for love. She is looking for help. I repeat, she's not looking for love. She is looking for help. Okay. Do you really think that what a coincidence that gas prices at an all-time high, food is starting to become scarce, and World War III, aka nuclear weapons, are going to be flying around in the sky soon. I don't think that's a coincidence that out of nowhere she's going to be contacting you out of the blue to see where things can go between you guys. Don't fall for it, gentlemen. Don't do it. don't do it. I already rejected like 5-6 females within the last couple years. Okay. Remember the first time when Sleepy Joe became president, he ended the memorandum of kicking people out of their houses or apartments. I had three women that day contact me. 3 women that day out of nowhere. I've never talked to them for years. I'm like, why are you coming at me? As time went on, eventually they started to talk to me about their financial problems. I'm like, oh, here we go. I saw it coming. I saw it. You thought I'm still that blue pill simp that you messed with years ago? And I'm like, well, So you got all these financial problems. What are you going to do about it? Oh, they got so irritated with me. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And this is only the beginning. Remember, a man on his own or men in a group are far more likely to survive than a woman that's by herself. Just keep it out there. Just the sole fact that she will be doing her own thing in the middle of chaos, no protection from the state, no protection from police. The Simps and White Knights are out there fighting to survive themselves. What can she do?
I think that'll be the other thing too. But with the chemicals that people will be dealing with is different because there's going to be a lot less dopamine and a lot more cortisol flying around. People are going to be a lot more stressed. So, I think guys' tolerance for bullshit, even how blue-pilled they are, is going to go down because they won't be as comfortable.
Exactly. They will always be on their guard when the recession gets worse. It doesn't even have to be shit hits the fan, When
not even just on their not even just on their guard, but like women don't realize how much they depend on men's lives being easy for men to be generous.
I agree. I agree. They don't understand. I agree. The Hater Sedator, $5 donation. Thank you very much, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. My family growing up ran extension cords across the street for a single mother welfare queen that lost power when she failed to pay her electric bill. What the hell is your family doing?
Yeah, so at that point, dude, you may as well just pay her bill for her.
Did they offer? Well, wait. Oh, your family. Oh, no. Oh. All right, I'm gonna be that guy. Was your dad hitting it? I'm keeping it real. That's the only reason why this makes sense. Was your dad hitting up that single mother? I'm just saying. Not everything comes for free. So just something to think about. What do you think, Gray?
I could see it happening without it. Like if it's just one of those fucking full-on naive, heavily guilty things, like power cords across the street. Just like Jesus Christ, people. This is the thing. Like they wouldn't do that for a man. They wouldn't do that for a dude. Like dude with kids.
That's why I had to ask you, bro. I had to ask you because you're I don't know if it's your dad or whoever's in charge.
No, that's the thing. If it was like neighbor across the street, it could have also been that like the wife was friends with that woman.
Could be. But I will lean more to somebody was hitting it.
Yeah.
Oh. You could be right, Brandon. Uh-oh.
That maybe the fucking single mom maybe the single mom was taking the family mom out for fucking girls' night. And so they were getting like fucking piped down or something together.
Copium. I need to start using that word. Copium. You got a heavy dose of copium. The single mom that lives across the hall from me isn't bad looking, but just the fact that she got kids that are mine, I'm not interested. She has different men in and out of her place all the time. Yeah, gross. Just her being a single mom alone, she's a -10 to me. or negative $1 million. Sorry, I couldn't. I can't.
It's too fucking dangerous.
She's a Venus flytrap. Just ready. She's ready to get another string of income for the next 18 years.
Well, and that's the thing is like you don't even have to fucking like have it be your kid with her. Like she's basically like you buy like you fucking buy your kid a goddamn McDonald's Happy Meal. It's like he took on a fatherly role. He's the father now.
Like, wait, what? What are you talking? Wait, what? I got his fingerprints all over this Happy Meal. He's the father.
I got the receipt with his bank info.
Wait. Did you just contact the IRS? How'd you even what? And then bam.
I got it. I got his tax information. Nail him for child support. Nail him to the wall.
Throw him in jail. You didn't give me a chance.
You were thinking that's a thought crime, and that's illegal these days.
Yeah, it's funny because it can definitely be true in today's society. And it is true, actually. Except for the IRS. Nobody's going to call it the IRS.
No, honestly, I think it'd be that like a single mother isn't going to call the IRS because chances are her taxes are fucking shady too.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, I ain't gonna. I claimed all my kids twice.
So it's like none of these fucking Twitch thoughts are gonna call the fucking IRS like to fucking audit their simps.
Literally, man. But hey, I'm definitely gonna end the stream right now because I am about to get ready for a lot of errands tomorrow, and I'm going to be creating a few more shorts. Anything to say to the Warband, Gray, about this topic?
Yes, fall back on old reliable. Like, don't believe their words, believe their actions. They will fucking deny, and lie to your face about what they truly think and believe, and even more what they're doing. Like, you're going to have like a whole bunch of freaking you're gonna have a situation where you're gonna fucking take a girl's virginity, hear rumors that she was sleeping around, ask, was I really the one that took your virginity? And she's gonna be like, why do guys always ask me that?
That will be what?
That's what's gonna be like, though.
I had to like. I'm like, wait, what did you say?
Yeah, it takes a fucking second before you realize.
Oh, hey, before we head out, we got to talk about a side story about this situation, which I will also want to warn you gentlemen as well. Okay, have you heard about the Black China situation? If you know who she is, that she recently became baptized, and now she's a born.
What born again virgin?
Yes,
now?
we live in a twilight. Literally, she's a born again. I'm done.
These fucking women will be like, I haven't had sex in a week, so I feel like a virgin, therefore I am one.
Yeah, that's gross. But yeah, look it up. Yeah, if you guys don't know who Black China is, just look it up. You can just literally type it in, Black China. She's all over OnlyFans. She slept with 2 different dudes with 2 different baby daddies. That wants more child support, even though she's only with her kids once a week. She's all over OnlyFans. She is the epitome of what a 304 is in today's society. And when she got baptized, I guess that all washed away, according to her. And that's what I want to warn you guys against. Okay. Especially when things start to get rough.
It's like, hey, maybe God will think you're a virgin. Maybe I certainly don't. And you can hit up God for child support.
Oh shit. But hey, I definitely had a phenomenal time talking to you guys. This was a phenomenal live stream. It's not, 5 hours like it usually is, but it's still great quality points. Hopefully, Gray is able to number it today. Hopefully, if he has
For some
time. If not,
timestamp,
I'll
timestamps.
figure it out.
Yeah, I'll see
sometimes.
what I can manage. Out.
Okay, and definitely expect a live stream tomorrow and maybe even a long video if I have time. But I am definitely going to be chilling for the time being. And who knows, if I rush fast enough, I'll come back on later on tonight for, how do you say, a secret live stream that everybody in the Warband is having. Yeah, we will do that. But it will be late. So it'll be around probably midnight if you guys are still awake. But thank you for joining. I already said what I had to say about the situation. Be careful out there, gentlemen. It's just gonna get worse out there, and these women are just gonna get more manipulative, more chameleon acts, just so that they can become a homosexual. And a homosexual is they're just gonna get with you so they can have a place to live. Just so that once they have no more use of you anymore, they will stab you and possibly stab you in the back and possibly take everything that you have with her and then go to her next victim. The recession, prepare yourself, gentlemen. And not only prepare yourself and be aware, keep your head on a swivel, and like what Light and MGTOW always says, give them nothing. Okay, lockout game, lock them out. This is Sir Yeetus. Hopefully you guys had a great amount of gems dropped down on you today. And I will see you on later on tonight or tomorrow. We are out. Peace.
Peace out, Warband.